Sandra Bullock was honoured by Forbes magazine as the highest paid actress in Hollywood in 2010 and 2014. She lived the dream life of an A-list star. But behind that glamorous curtain lay dark secrets, and in Sandra's case, this largely stemmed from the way she viewed. So why does she always turn lovemaking into humorous moments on screen? We'll break that down in this video. Before we dive deeper, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Grab yourself a warm drink, maybe a cup of tea, or just water, and sit back as we begin this journey together. Sandra Bullock, born in 1,964 inches, Arlington, Virginia, is the daughter of a German opera singer and an American voice coach. From an early age, she was immersed in an artistic environment, frequently travelling between Europe and the US, following her mother's performance schedule. Starting out with small roles on stage and television, her breakthrough came in 1994 when she played Annie in the action film Speed. After that, Sandra continued to make her mark through box office hits like While You Were Sleeping, Miss Congeniality, The Blind Side, and Gravity, a blockbuster that took the world by storm. Not only was she artistically successful, Sandra Bullock was also one of the highest paid actresses in the world for many years, earning the nickname America's Sweetheart, the woman all of America adored. She is known for her private lifestyle, free of scandals and showiness, a near-perfect figure in the eyes of the media and the public. Few people know that at the height of her career in 2010, just a few months after receiving the Oscar for her role in The Blind Side, Sandra Bullock fell into a nightmare she had never imagined. While the world was hailing her as a symbol of strength and success, behind the scenes, a sophisticated trap had been set. Not by the media, not by Hollywood, but by the very person she trusted most, Lucas R., her personal manager and best friend for over a decade. Lucas was not only the one who shaped Sandra's media strategy, but he also held all of her personal documents, contracts, correspondence, and behind-the-scenes footage. Things that were never meant to be leaked. In the eyes of the entertainment world, Lucas was irreplaceable to Sandra. But no one knew that during the last 5 years of their professional relationship, he had secretly collected audio recordings, sensitive images, and extracted a vast amount of personal data from Sandra's electronic devices. The truth only began to surface when an anonymous hacker contacted Sandra's assistant and threatened to release private clips online unless a ransom of up to $5 million was paid. At first, Sandra thought it was just another blackmail scheme like many other celebrities had faced. But when the hacker included a voice recording of a private phone call between her and her late mother, recorded nearly 10 years earlier, she knew she had been watched for a very long time. And the only person who could have accessed that material was Lucas. A secret investigation was launched by Sandra with the help of a private legal team. What they uncovered shook even the FBI. Lucas wasn't acting alone. He was part of a network that brokered celebrity information for underground media forces, specializing in targeting, entrapping, and forcing stars to buy back their own image. In one decrypted email, Lucas once wrote, "If she leaves me, I'll drag her down with me. She thinks she's the queen of Hollywood. I'll show the world who she really is." At the time, Sandra was in a troubled marriage with Jesse James, and was surrounded by overwhelming pressure. She chose to remain silent and never made the incident public. Inside Hollywood, whispers began to spread. Some producers stopped reaching out. Some projects were delayed without explanation. To the outside world, it was Sandra taking a break to focus on family. But inside, she was fighting to protect herself. Through a top-secret agreement, Sandra arranged for Lucas to quietly withdraw from the entertainment industry. There was no lawsuit, no public accusation, but insiders understood. There's a line even someone like Sandra Bullock doesn't dare to cross. The entertainment world isn't a place to expose the truth, it's a place to bury it at all costs. Since then, Sandra has lived a more private life. She has nearly disappeared from public events, turned down many attractive scripts, and chosen to live in a small town with her 2 adopted children. Someone once said, "Sandra didn't step back because she was tired. She stepped back because she saw what lies behind the Hollywood curtain, and no one ever comes back after seeing that." When people mention Sandra Bullock, They often think of her energetic roles, those smiling eyes, and a stellar career. But her private life is a different chapter marked by wounds that aren't easily healed. It's not a fairy tale Hollywood love story. It's the reality of a strong woman who was once pushed to the edge of pain and betrayal. In 2005, Sandra married Jesse James, a well-known TV host and motorcycle enthusiast. It was once considered an odd match in Hollywood, an A-list actress with a rugged, rebellious man. But after just 5 years, everything fell apart. In 2010, right when Sandra had just won her Oscar, Jesse's cheating scandal was exposed. And it wasn't just one woman. It was several. America was shocked. But the one who hurt the most was her. The woman who had completely trusted that man. Later on, she adopted another child, a little girl named Ela. No wedding, no interviews, no showing off. Sandra lived the life of a true single mother and in absolute privacy. She once said, "I don't need any more spotlight. I just want to be with my children in the shade, and that's where I feel safest." Another heartbreaking chapter in her life was with her boyfriend Brian Randall, a talented, quiet photographer who was seen as Sandra's final haven after many years of solitude. They were together for nearly 8 years, raising children and living far from the media. But Brian silently battled ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and passed away in 2023. Once again, Sandra lost someone she loved most. But just like every time before, she didn't appear in the press, didn't make any statements. She simply disappeared. These days, Sandra Bullock no longer appears on red carpets, no longer gives speeches at awards ceremonies, and is almost completely withdrawn from the entertainment industry. But she hasn't lost her shine. She simply redirected it elsewhere, to her small home where there's children's laughter, simple meals, and unconditional love. She lives with her 2 children, Louis and Ela, in a quiet, suburban house far from the noise. No paparazzi, no media, no fame. Just a mother making breakfast, taking her kids to school, teaching them lessons about compassion, and telling old stories at night. To her, this isn't a retreat. It's a return to where she truly belongs. Sandra once shared in a rare interview, "Being a mother is the greatest role of my life. No script, no director, just real love." She teaches her children about kindness, about differences, and most importantly, how to rise after being hurt. Louis, a quiet, intelligent boy with a love for art. Ela, a lively girl with a strong personality, just like her mother. They're not growing up in a lavish mansion or in the midst of cheering crowds. They're growing up in simple love, in a space their mother gave up fame to protect. Sometimes people still catch glimpses of Sandra walking with her kids in the park, reading under a tree, or driving them to go camping. Those moments never make the news because no one profits off peace. But that is the most beautiful ending for a woman once swept up in the whirlwind of fame. Once a dazzling symbol of Hollywood, Sandra Bullock has now chosen a different path. Quiet, profound, and full of inner strength. After personal upheavals and unspeakable losses, many believed she had closed the final chapter of her acting career. But no, Sandra has never left the screen. She's simply making her return in a way few expected. Recently, she has reappeared in roles that are deeper, more complex. Not the charming female leads anymore, but women carrying a world of pain and inner turmoil. In a recent psychological drama, she played a woman just released from prison, trying to reintegrate into society while bearing an inescapable past. That role left viewers breathless, revealing a courageous Sandra, willing to dive into pain, into darkness, to rediscover the light within herself. And it doesn't stop there. She's preparing for a return in the sequel to a beloved film from nearly 3 decades ago, a magical tale woven with family and wonder. Her reunion with an old co-star in the film promises to be one of the most anticipated highlights on the big screen in the near future. In terms of achievements, Sandra is still regarded as one of the most successful and powerful actresses in Hollywood. She's won the prestigious Oscar, ranked among the highest paid actors in the world, and above all has consistently earned the public's respect for her sincerity and willingness to go against the grain. And now, as her career enters a new chapter, gentler but no less captivating, fans can see more clearly than ever who Sandra Bullock truly is. Not flashy, not fake, but a woman with a genuine heart and an admirable strength. If you want to keep following this surprising comeback journey, untold stories, unforgettable performances, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing about this extraordinary woman.